again. This is becoming something of a habit.
I'm a light sleeper.
Make yourself useful.
Matron.
Convoy tonight. 200 men, but could be more.
We need more tents, more beds, more of everything.
New directive from HQ. Only 10 items per requisition order, which has to be countersigned in triplicate by Colonel Pirbright before being sent to the General for approval. So I'll order today, and with any luck, it'll all be here by next Easter.
Nurse.
He's waking up.
How delightful. Please say you're looking for me.
No.
Oh. You do know how to crush a chap's hopes, don't you?
Excuse me.
You're not allowed in here.
I know.
How long have you been standing there?
Only a moment.
Out. Now!
Your patient's come round.
Name? Or shall I just guess?
Major Crecy. I was sent to find you. If you're going to the ward, you might want to take your apron off.
How's the pain?
It's not too bad.
I'll get you another half grain of morphine.
Byford. You in one piece?
Right, it's 9pence.
The others?
I'll talk to you about that in a minute, sir.
We have to keep you still as possible. Risk of hemorrhage.
I understand.
We sent a letter to your wife.
Did you think I would die?
To be honest, yes.
Well, you must make sure that she knows that I'm alive. I don't want to be upset.
She'll be able to see for herself. She's coming.
Here?
We'll speak to her first so she knows what to expect. I've been asked to check you wouldn't prefer to be moved to an officer's ward.
Absolutely not.
I'll get your shot.
To the others?
Just you and me left. Nothing we can do for them now, sir. Your wife's coming. Keep thinking of that.
You're turning the engine over every day, aren't you? She'll seize up otherwise.
I am taking the very best care of your motorcycle, Sister Lucy. You can be assured of that.
Didn't know she'd be confiscated. Have you any idea when I'll get her back?
As I said, I'm doing all I can.
I appreciate it, Sergeant. Ready?
Am I snoring?
Why do you ask that?
There hasn't been one morning when you've been in your bed. Am I snoring and waking you up? Is Rosalie snoring? My brother Barty told me I sound like a donkey when I'm asleep. Are you sure you're not just being nice?
There are many things Laura nice isn't one of them.
Then why are you always up so early?
I like to get an early start. Make a good impression.
Well, can you wake me up too? Then I can make a good impression, and I might even be allowed within 10 feet of an actual patient. Oh, here comes the mail. We're bound to get letters today. Barty's at the front, and I haven't heard from him in ages.
Good morning, Matron Carter.
Where's my husband, Major Edward Crecy? Am I too late?
Mrs. Crecy, your husband is alive.
Where is he? Take me to him.
Mrs. Crecy, there are relatives here to whom I have to give bad news. Please, do them the courtesy of waiting. If you'd like to follow me.
It's all right.
His notes say one of the volunteers was feeding him.
Yes, sister.
That's your job.
Sister, I have over 80 patients on night shift, and I did check with Sister Livesey.
You will do his feeding. This boy deserves only the best. Make sure you give it to him. Manage your time better, Nurse Jasmine.
Yes, sister.
Did you always know you were going to do this?
Nursing? I knew from when I was this high. I was always putting my toys in beds and taking the temperatures. What about you? What did you want to be?
I wasn't really asked. My father doesn't approve of women earning their own money. He says it's vulgar.
He likes the sound of his own voice, your pa, doesn't he?
He does rather, yes.
Well, he's going to have to get used to vulgar women. The world's changing, Rosalie. Everything is possible.
You know, when I volunteered, everyone at home was rather sniffy.
Why is that, then?
Oh, I don't think they thought I'd stick at it. But I really believe I was meant for this. Seems such a waste.
What does?
The time before this. You know, when one was feeling useless and really rather low. I could have been like you, riding on a motorcycle and speaking your mind. So much wasted time. I wish I'd been braver sooner.
Well, you're here, proving them all wrong. And I'll show you how to ride that motorbike.
Oh, I don't look silly.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, maybe. That would make them all sit up at home. That would make them really sit up.
What are you doing in here, Beric? You have duties.
I finished my morning's work, sister.
I said she could observe my dressings round. Be good experience. I thought they could take it in turns.
Beric, we need an inventory of the linen cupboard. Don't forget Matron needs your probation report on Trevelyan.
Already done.
I'll let you get on then.
Can we find some time to put together a plan for how the volunteers are going to progress?
Difficult times.
Who's there? You was there too.
Kind of them, isn't it? To bring us over. You're supposed to wait.
You know what to ask for?
Yes.
Well, don't let them fob you off, because I know what they're like in there.
Oh, I won't be fobbed off.
So you get this right, they'll see you've got a head on your shoulders. Worth more than just pushing trolleys around and delousing.
You're a real pal, Corporal.
What can I do for you?
Corporal Foley sent me for a long wait, please.
I can do you 2 short ones.
No, I'm sorry, Sergeant Sober, but I'm not going to be fobbed off. I need a long one.
2 short ones will do the same job.
God damn it, Sober. You heard her. Fetch the young lady what she asked for and quick about it, or I'll put you on a charge.
Ah, sir, they're right at the back. I'll have to get the stepladder out and... Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
The longest you've got, please, Sergeant. Thank you, Captain.
Don't mention it. Might want to take a seat.
Do I look less trenchy?
Dapper, if I say so myself. I might take up barbering when I'm back in civvies. I think I found my talent.
You look very presentable.
Well, we just have to wait and see.
I'm not sure what to say to her.
What about, my dear, the good news is my dancing days are over. Never again will I crush your toes. Just say that you're happy she's here. That's all a wife wants to know. And trust me, I know wives, I've got 3. True as I'm stood here. It's because I'm irresistible. It's my curse. And Nursey is going to be my 4th. Promise to run away with me.
Oh, I'll be running, I can promise you that.
Adelinda?
What have you done to him? Where's he gone?
It's a lot to take in.
Really? Do you think so? I received a letter saying my husband was wounded and dangerously ill, near death, that I should come at once. It said nothing about... Could you not have prepared me?
I believe you were asked to wait.
The surgery was successful. All necrosis, all infection was removed, and barring any hemorrhage, your husband shouldn't need any further operations.
I wouldn't have thought there was much more you could take off. You appear to have been very thorough, Captain, with your knife.
It's not willful butchery, Mrs. Crecy. It had to be done.
Why is he in a men's ward? He should be with those of his own rank.
Mrs. Crecy, when your husband was brought in, he was insistent that he stayed with the soldier who'd fetched him in.
But it isn't good for the men to see an officer so diminished. He must be with his own kind.
Mrs. Crecy.
It is not appropriate. It is quite scandalous.
Enter.
Mrs. Crecy's gloves, matron.
Could you show Mrs. Crecy to the visitors' accommodation, please?
My husband must be moved. If you could expedite that immediately, I would be most grateful.
I'll be along to visit.
Nothing for Trevelyan? Mrs. Crecy, I wonder if your husband and Private Byford should be separated so suddenly. They spent months together under fire the whole time. He saved your husband's life. There's a bond.
He's a hunting man, you know. Every day in the winter. All weathers. The outdoors belong to him. The house is mine. That'll be different now. As regards this soldier, of course we are grateful, but we must take care it does not become an obligation. That there is no Incursion.
Incursion?
This young man is not my husband's future. I am. Who was to help me with my hair, my clothes?
I'm afraid you'll have to manage by yourself.
Thanks, Doc.
I'm really sorry. They still haven't brought it and I've been here ages.
Did you ask for the right thing?
Yes. A long wait. You don't take me seriously. But you'll see. I've got grit.
Where? In your shoe?
Is that Sister Livesey's motorcycle? What's it doing here?
Confiscated, sir, by me.
Why?
Civilian vehicle drinking army petrol. Every drop of which has to be accounted for, sir, through my books. I'm waiting to hear from HQ if aforementioned vehicle is to be allowed.
I see. Some docket that will be conveniently lost among a pile of other dockets in the docket graveyard that is HQ. Do you have a buy lined up ready? You'll get a good price for that.
I'm not sure I take your meaning, sir.
Oh, I think you do, Soper. I want that motorcycle returned today.
I shall need some official clearance for my books.
I'll make sure you have it. Don't treat me like a fool. I might not have caught you red-handed, but I have a pretty fair idea of your lucrative sidelines. Desist with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear?
So.
Eddie, I'm so embarrassed. I made a complete fool of myself.
Well, no one minds.
I do.
Meant to introduce you to Byford. Just meet Byford.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be time enough. It's quite pleasant here, isn't it? Very clean. I didn't think you'd be so close to the sea.
Well, my dear, the good news is that my dancing days are over.
Eddie, how can you joke about such a thing? Please don't joke, I don't like it. All that matters is that you're alive and you'll be coming home and the children will be very proud of their brave papa and everyone, absolutely everyone will be so terribly, terribly kind.
Everybody reports that you're competent, polite, that you work very hard. Everyone comments on your reserve.
Being unreserved is what put me on probation in the first place.
So you're biting your tongue?
I'm grateful for the second chance.
Well, apart from constantly finding you prowling around at night, your conduct is satisfactory. I'm signing off your probation.
Thank you. Was there something else?
Miss Trevelyan, you are aware that I have to read all outgoing women's post.
I thought it was random.
No. All letters. And I have to read each one thoroughly.
I see. In training, we were taught that it was exclusively for censorship purposes and that would be utmost discretion and no need to discuss.
But I do think there's a need. All confidences are kept, but... Am I to understand there's a child? Such a forcible separation must be very difficult. It certainly explains why you don't sleep.
I'd really rather not talk.
No woman is a blank sheet of paper. We all have histories. And I'm not about to start clawing yours apart. It's the here and now that concerns me. In your letters, you ask for forgiveness.
Call a spade a spade. I don't ask, I beg.
What are you going to do if forgiveness doesn't come?
It has to. I don't know.
Take some time to compose yourself. That's an order. We have a busy night ahead.
Miss Trevelyan, this morning when you came to get me, I was sharp with...
It doesn't matter.
My patient died. Well, you could see that. He started bleeding and there was nothing I could do to stop it. So I snapped. I was rude.
As I said, it doesn't matter. I'm really sorry about your patient. Can I get past now, please?
You know, most people have the good grace to accept an apology when they're owed one.
You don't owe me anything, Captain. And you haven't actually apologized.
There's a face like thunder. Cheer up, look on your desk. Listen to this. Mary Pickford has a sunken bathtub with gold taps shaped like dolphins in her Hollywood mansion. I've been thinking about that all day now. Lovely Mary Pickford and her lovely blonde hair lying in her sunken bathtub like a glorious mermaid.
It's not in here. They didn't print it.
Well, the Royal College of Surgeons are probably still reading your magnum opus on femoral trauma and talking about how completely wonderful you are. You'll be on the board before you know it. I, however, will be in Hollywood. Bottle of champagne in one hand, bar of scented soap in the other. It was a good article, Tom. You know, I never read anything apart from this and Tarzan, and I read the whole thing without dozing off once. I wish I was Tarzan. In the jungle with Jane. I bet Jane's kinder to a fellow than Miss Trevelyan. She's a tough nut to crack. I don't want the blasted women to give me a smile. She should smile at you.
I've never talked to her.
Mrs. Crecy? Private Byford. I was with your husband. How is he?
He's being attended to.
Bit much for a lady. All of this, bit too much.
I'm told you've been rather brave.
Fetching a man in's nothing. Wish I could have fetched them all in.
Token of appreciation.
I don't want money.
You can't come any further. You're intruding.
I'm only saying goodbye.
No. You're not.
All turned out well in the end. Full clearance.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Soper. I appreciate it.
Not at all, sister, so long as you're happy.
Oh, I am.
Signed out by the Colonel. Army rules bent for a civilian. Makes me wonder what he's thinking sometimes. Take yourself, sister. Should have been you he recommended for matron. Should have been you. But they do say that him and Grace Carter is close. So... well, it's a topsy-turvy world, sister. And nothing more topsy-turvy than that cocky sort. Turning up in men's clothes. It's neither fish nor flesh, you ask me.
But I didn't.
You've probably got about 10 minutes before they start thinking you're able.
Back in khaki.
They need the bed. It's I'm off to training camp. Keep an eye on this. A few weeks of thrust twists with Jordan up the road.
You won't know anyone.
I'll make friends soon enough, sir.
I envy you.
No, you don't. You really don't.
Why wouldn't you let them say goodbye? Why be so cruel?
I am not being cruel.
Is it because he was kind to you? Was that too much of an incursion?
You are a disrespectful and impertinent young woman.
Well,
it's been an honor, Byford.
Sir, you were a good gaffer. The best. We would have followed you anywhere. Whoever I get next won't be a patch on you. So you take care of yourself.
And you?
Now, you sure you don't want to run away with me? It's your last chance.
Good luck, Jackie.
Can he talk?
Who?
Your husband. Can he talk to you?
Of course he can talk.
That's good. George, my boy, he can't talk. He was hit in the head. I don't think he sees me. Doesn't know I'm there.
Of course he does.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
I'm sure you're quite wrong. I'm sure everything will be perfectly fine. It'll all be as it was before. I'm quite certain of it. So excuse me.
Sister, I don't want you to think I was treading on your toes or undermining you this morning.
Of course not.
I think it's really important that we prepare the volunteers to take on more responsibility. 200 men we're getting tonight. Or more. There's going to be more.
We will cope. We always do.
The volunteers that we had at Liverpool, yes, they were green to begin with, but they became valuable.
You're not in Liverpool now.
All hospitals are essentially the same.
No. They are not. The reason this hospital is different from the Liverpool infirmary is because the men here have come from hell. This is their sanctuary. And they need to feel safe because They have not been safe. And what makes them feel safe is calm, professional expertise, not the clumsy enthusiasms of the well-meaning amateur.
These three are the first, but they won't be the last. More will come. What are you going to do? Put them all in the laundry, out of sight, out of mind? Get them doing endless inventories of linen? It's just bloody-minded. Meantime, your nurses are fit to drop. Men lie there waiting. Perhaps, sister, it's you who doesn't feel safe.
The passion of youth. It's only natural that you should want to make your mark here. But you are still very new. Don't try to run before you can walk.
Thank you for your time.
Our first convoy, any moment now. Are you nervous, Rosalie?
Not at all.
I can't believe you're only just opening that.
I wanted to save it.
I'd have ripped mine open straight away, if I'd had any. Who's it from?
A friend of mine, Miss Tillotson.
How do you know her?
My friend, Miss Tillotson, is the patroness of a home for fallen girls. I used to do some work with her.
I'd love to be a fallen girl. Everything you were always told not to do. Swept away by love. So romantic.
No, it's not. The girls are to be pitied, not admired. There's always a baby no one wants. Men are beasts. But women, well, morality resides in us.
And are they raised?
I beg your pardon?
The fallen girls, are they raised?
With some very hard work, a great many are placed in service in suitable houses. Some, of course, are beyond help. What point are you trying to make, Kitty?
I'm not making any point, just asking a question.
Mr. Trevelyan. What are you doing here? Sitting in the dark? I was hoping you were waiting to pounce on me.
No.
Crushed again. Do you play?
No, I don't. I can't think of anything more futile than golf.
That is the beauty of it. And it becomes even more futile played at night. A sport for our times.
Excuse me. I have to go.
You know, I can't help thinking we've got off on the wrong foot. I'm not going to give up, you know.
Captain Heskethorne, what do you want from me?
I want you to smile.
Why?
Because life is a glorious thing. Because I can get a smile out of Major. I can get a smile out of Captain Gillan. So this is a red rag to a bull. And I will not give up until I see a smile. And don't call me Captain Heskethorne. It's so army. Miles. Call me Miles. There we go. Mr. Trevelyan, that was almost a conversation. We're making progress.
Make up more beds on the floor.
Marshal, there's a gentleman there.
Sister!
Stretcher! Stretcher! Keep the pressure on. Come with me now. Surgery now.
You've done this before, haven't you? Of course. Take over then. Wash, change, pulse and temperature. I'll be back as soon as I can. Beric, you're in charge.
Water.
Hello. I'm Volunteer Beric. I'm going to help you wash.
Where's the enfilade?
I don't know what that is.
Machine gun. Men go down like corn before the scythe, row upon row upon row.
Don't want to hear about it.
I thought I'd die up there. Food for the rats. The size of the rats from feeding on corpses. And when it rains and you can't see where you're treading and you think you found some shallow water, so you're not up to your waist, and you realise that you're standing on a dead man's face.
I don't want to hear about it.
And you think, well, chummy here's not going to mind, I'll just carry on.
I said I don't
understand.
want to hear about it. You have to forget about it, because I don't want that. Filth and ugliness.
Yeah, but I am it. I am it. And I don't think I'll ever be anything else.
You're not a soldier anymore, Eddie.
And then I'm nothing.
But what would you know?
What could you possibly know? You shouldn't have come, Adelinda. You really shouldn't have come.
I ain't been washed by no slip of a girl. Do myself.
If you were strong enough to go into the bath tent, you'd be in the bath tent. But you're not. And I'm not a slip of a girl. I am trained, and I've done this hundreds of times.
Everything all right over there?
Yes, thank you, Corporal.
Sorry.
Next, clean up first before I notice it. Nothing more.
Rosalie?
Major Crecy.
Mrs. Crecy. Mrs. Crecy.
What is it?
Really all cleared.
Are you comfy and warm enough? I'll help you, but rest now. You'll feel ever so much better after a
Where's Miss Berwick?
She's ran off. But she's done a fair job.
Good work.
Told you I had grit.
I only said it was a fair job. You get the tea trolley, maybe it'd be a good job.
Why did you run away? You did your training. How did you avoid giving blanket baths?
I tidied the linen cupboard. Nobody seemed to notice I wasn't there.
Why did you say you'd done it before?
I didn't want to disappoint you.
It's not the end of the world. We'll get this sorted out. I promise. Yes?
Yes, you are still alive.
Bastard.
My pleasure. You can thank me later.
You can't make them want to live.
Where is his wife?
Letter for you, miss.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
How is he?
You know what he did?
No, he was bleeding.
He did it deliberately.
But he is alive.
I sent away a giant of a man. Children used to climb on his shoulders with their hands in his hair. And this is what I get back.
What did you think it was going to be?
Not this. Not a ghost with a head full of horrors. He would rather be dead in the mud with his men than at home with me.
But he is coming home with you. You should be in there with him, not out here.
I can't do this. I'm not prepared for this. I'm not prepared. Everything is over.
Read it. This is from my mother. Can you see what she says? I'm dead to her. She says, I'll never see my daughter again. There are people who won't get back any part of their sons and their brothers and their husbands. They won't get back anything from the life before. You have children. You have a home. You have so much more than most. You're wanted, you're needed. Everything is not over.
Eddie, you are not nothing. You're my husband. And our children's father.
I can't remember their faces.
You will. And you must promise me never to do anything like that again. Just get better. And come home, and we will be waiting. Because you are not nothing. You are everything to us. See you in England, darling.
I have to go now. So you'll be a good boy for your dad, Georgie. You'll be a good boy.
Where are we going?
Rosalie, do you trust me? You need to trust me.
Of course I do. More than anyone else here.
This poor boy didn't make the journey. Nothing can hurt him now. But I'm sure if he knew this was going to help his fellows, he wouldn't mind.
What do you mean?
Rosalie, this is a man. I need you to look at him. All of him. And understand there is no mystery. It's just his body. You talked about being brave before. You need to be brave now. Just look at him, please.
Are you completely depraved?
Stupid. 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 What on earth's the matter? Oh, dear. Come with me. For the shock. You poor girl. I'm not surprised you're so upset. I mean, I know Sister Livesey is a friend of yours.
No friend of mine.
Never mind. You've got a friend here, Miss Berwick. There's always a shoulder here for you.
Like a vizier. The nurse gave it to me to remember him by.
I'm so very sorry.
Thank you very much.
Did you get the news you were waiting for?
Far from it. Very far.
Then do your job. The work saves us, Trevelyan. It saves us.
You're here to fight for king and country. Ireland spat you out.
Get a man sufficiently healed to stand trial for cowardice.
I'm actually a woman of the world, even if I've never been kissed.
I appreciate your discretion.
What you do is of no concern to me.
You have someone fighting.
They tell you not to think about it, but I can't stop thinking. I don't know if he's alive.